Good evening, students. Good evening, parents. First of all, I wanted to update you on the January contingency plans. Obviously, I know and I've received messages and communication from parents around the concern about the rumours that we'll be going into a lockdown in January. The truth is simply we don't know at the moment what the extent is. We obviously are concerned with the rise, and we saw 78,000 new cases in the UK yesterday of Omicron, but equally we saw just 112 of those being hospitalised. So we are yet to understand clearly how this variant of COVID is both going to act and also the implications of this. What is clear from both the media, but specifically from government in their recent votes on COVID legislation, is the absolute clarity and consistency across all parties and all MPs in the fact that it is vital that all schools remain open and that our children are not impacted any further, even though clearly they are in the current situation, but are not impacted any further with school closures. Today, all teachers received a letter from the Right Honourable Secretary of State for Education in which he outlined several things. But first of all, he outlined that despite any potential changes that could happen in January and to national restrictions, that all technical and vocation exams would be running. If you remember last year, or those that weren't involved last year, this also happened last year as well, that the exams did go ahead in the majority of schools. It was given to the choice of schools to make the decision, and we did choose to go ahead, and our vast majority of nearly all our students attended and sat those exams. This year, absolutely, they've said that those exams will go ahead. It's also worth reflecting back to last year just going into December, when we obviously subsequently did go into that lockdown, is we're in a very, very different position. We've got staff vaccinated, we've got boosters going out for the majority of staff, and of course we've got students now vaccinated, or a significant number of students are vaccinated nationally and as well here at AEA than we had in the last year. So it is a different situation to be in, certainly. However, noted in the letter from the Secretary of State is a point around contingency planning, saying that we continue to, I'll read this from the screen actually to make sure I get this right, but we continue to learn more about the impacts of the Omicron variant. To prepare for any possible changes in public health advice, I ask you, head teachers, to review your existing contingency plans to ensure that you're well prepared to implement them in case of future changes. So they're not dismissing the idea that there could be such things in January as changes to school attendance or lockdown, but then clearly they're advising all schools to be prepared. And of course, as you'd expect from ABA as a lead technical centre and a lead UTC, we of course are very prepared for having those strong contingency plans in place, and also the facilities to move to remote learning very quickly and efficiency and live teaching should that be needed. Devices at home. I wrote to parents this week around devices at home and just reminding them that I started as part of those plans to be prepared in case. And I just wanted to thank those parents that contacted back, but to clarify for those who missed the email, and also for those additional parents, the clarification of those steps. And again, I'll read from my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything out on that. So first of all, any devices will be allocated in January, not now. Okay, some parents are asking if we got those tomorrow. No, they will come out in January. Okay, firstly, and they'll be issued ready in that first week of when we return by the Thursday and the Friday of that first week. We only have a limited number of DfE laptops ready to be allocated. There's 71 laptops at the moment, all prepped and ready to go. And that is because we've already issued every single student in year 11 already one of those devices, which is a key recommendation previously by the Department for Education as part of the COVID catch-up, and they remain one of the key critical lists of the DfE to tackle through the role of devices. All devices will be allocated fairly on a needs basis according to the DfE legislation. They will not be allocated on a first come, first served basis. So if you haven't put your name forward to say that your child requires these, do not panic. You're not further down the list. It will all be allocated in January, not this side of Christmas, in January, okay? The DfE legislation for those key groups of priority are free school meals, looked after children, SEND students, pupil premium students, and then examination students. So we'll apply all of those factors into the mix to then allocate out those devices fairly and appropriately. Equally, as part of that, it should be noted that would be unlikely that we could allocate more than one device to one household. And again, a reminder to parents that if your child is without a device, you can put your name forward, and that means if there's not a device in the household. And I would just obviously say we only have a limited number, so if there's other devices in the household your child can use, please use those. But if you do not have, and your child is disadvantaged by not having a device for them to use or to share in the household, if you're in years 9 to 11, you can contact ruth.acton@aUEA.co.uk, and if you're in the sixth form, you can contact kathy.bedney@aUEA.co.uk, and we will put you onto the list, and that will be reviewed by myself and the team in January. What I would just say is, in the likely event that we do go into a lockdown and schools are closed, or certainly the unlikely event that schools are closed in a lockdown, I do think there might well be some increase in restrictions that we see, but I think schools will remain a key priority to remain open. But in any way, if schools do go into a closure, at this point, I would just remind you that having no IT facilities at home remains a key differential of disadvantage recognised by the government and by schools in the UK. As a result, and as has happened in each of the previous school closure periods back in 2020 and also in 2021, we had a provision in school for any student to attend school during that period to utilise our IT equipment within school. So though we don't know what's going to happen in the future, I just wanted to reassure parents that provision will without doubt be in place for that in the future as well. So I just wanted to reassure you your child wouldn't be disadvantaged if that was the case. But as I said, this is absolutely not to be alarmist. This is not to add to the rumour mill at all. But more importantly, it is about contingency planning. It's about being prepared for what's going on. And it's ensuring that, like you would expect here from myself and AEA, that we remain absolutely on point, ready, ahead of the game to ensure that your child is not disadvantaged in any situation that is going on across the country. I am confident that schools will reopen, absolutely. And as always, I will keep you updated by these updates across the holidays, if need be as well, and look forward to speaking to you in the new year. And it just leaves me to wish you a really pleasant Christmas period, hopefully spending time with family, and a happy new year. And I look forward to working with you in 2022. Take care. Thank you.